to be segregated? We don't think so. And it actually issued a statement in support of the Brown decision in 1954. Civil rights activists then said, okay, that's fine. So what are you going to do here in the city? Eventually, the New York Board of Education did commission a study on segregation in the New York City school system. So on December 23rd, 1954, the Board of Education created the Commission of Integration in response to civil rights activist and psychologist Kenneth Clark, who charged that the school system was racially segregated. The task was to recommend ways to promote integration. The commission was divided into 5 sub-commissions, including one examining the assignment of school personnel. On December 7th, 1956, the Subcommission on Personnel and Assignment issued a report with 16 recommendations. Many were non-controversial, providing subject schools with greater allotment of assistant principals and other supervisory personnel, relieving teachers of clerical and non-teaching duties. But the Board of Education presently has the power to take action on this, but it was the 8th recommendation that sort of set off a firestorm. And it read essentially that the power to transfer teachers when they are needed in other schools should be done. This applies, for example, when teachers are, quote, excess. The board must accept the responsibility of using this power within clearly stated principles. It may be difficult to get teachers' acceptance at first, but it can and must be done. Improvement of teaching conditions in the difficult schools combined with a problem of informing teachers of these improvements and educating them to their responsibilities to teach in all kinds of situations are necessary to winning their support of this program. Understand that even according to the New York City Board of Education's own investigation, not only did they find that the schools were thoroughly segregated in the city, but in the black communities of Harlem, in Bedford-Stuyvesant and Brownsville, children received less than a full day of instruction. In some cases, they were getting less than 4 hours. In addition, they had teachers who were teaching out of license. So you had music teachers assigned to teaching math classes. In addition, the schools were overcrowded. Classes were conducted in hallways. And just a tremendous amount of discrimination, denial of resources going on. And this problem of school personnel, it was a key factor. Many of the teachers, the most experienced teachers, were teaching in predominantly white schools because of the policy of seniority. And this item, number 8, really attacked that problem. So now they have a job to educate kids in these areas. And so they should be assigned involuntary transfers. The New York City Guild reacted strongly to this recommendation, making the argument, no, this is nothing more than a forced transfer, and its slogan was, we say yes to integration, no to forced transfer. Its president, Charles Kukin, justified the Guild's position on involuntary transfers by claiming that such a plan would lead to a transient teaching staff. lowering quality of education, and antagonizing the professional staff whose goodwill was essential for the implementing of integration. Coogan argued that difficult schools were not a racial problem. The children required more remedial guidance and services, not because of inadequate resources to Black and Latino neighborhoods, but because of, quote, complex socioeconomic causes. In the Herald Tribune, Coogan argued that dysfunctional families were at the heart of children's failures. To a greater extent than in other schools, the union president contended, quote, they come from homes broken by death of both or one of their parents, or by divorce. In many instances, poverty or other circumstances implies the mother of the family to work so that she is away from home and not available to exercise any supervision over them. Frequently, language handicaps, cultural differences, and cultural deficiencies bring about a lack of interest in learning, and indeed a resistance for the school. Put simply, Coogan